Hello, friends, and welcome to this week's edition of The Boot Room, the show where we look ahead to the game at the weekend for Ipswich Town. This weekend, it's AFC Wimbledon. There's 4 games left, Stewie, before this season can end, and we can start getting excited about the summer. Unfortunately, we're contractually obliged to talk about the games, and you were obviously speaking to Paul Cook this morning, and you actually asked him what he'd say if he could press end on the season now. What did he say?
A long pause. Good question. He said, I've changed my mind 3 times as you're asking me it. So I think if he's completely honest, the answer would be yes. Jittery camp, lots of players facing uncertain futures. They don't trust me. I don't trust them. There's not an awful lot Paul Cook can learn about his players in these next 4 games. The players have gone. Of course, he'd finish the season now if he had a chance, but he can't. There's still 4 games left. And it's Wimbledon again, a team they just lost 3-0 to away from home just a few days ago. Approaching 9 hours without a goal now for Ipswich. So never mind getting a win on the board. Just a goal will do at this moment in time.
And he said some interesting stuff as well. Obviously, people are saying, let's play the youngsters. Let's see the youngsters. He spoke about that this morning as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Doesn't think that that's the right thing to do. Went as far as saying in quite strong terms that he thinks young players have been elevated to the first team too quickly in the past, and that is because the first team simply hasn't been good enough. So for a manager that keeps saying that he's not going to criticise the players and throw them under the bus, he can't help himself but fail to bite that lip that he keeps saying he's trying to do. He's absolutely exasperated, Paul Cook, and he, just like the rest of us, can't wait for a big summer of change ahead. But we've got to go through the motions of these next 4 games before then.
Indeed, he's a journalist's dream, isn't he, Mr. Cook? In terms of going through the motions, Stewie, one of those motions is picking the side to face Wimbledon tomorrow. A few question marks going into the game. Is he going to change the back 4, which struggled so much against Northampton? Is he going to play Dobra from the start? Is he even going to change the keeper? Will any of the lone players be in there? What are you telling me?
Well, we know it's going to be 4-2-3-1 because Paul's made it clear that he's going to be sticking to his formation of choice from here on in. There would have to be a decision to be made on the goalkeeper. Thomas Holy's kicking was pretty poor in midweek. He's had a few dodgy moments, and his role in the 3rd goal was obviously under the spotlight as well. But I think he might change with them. I'm not sure he's as sold on David Cornell either, to be quite honest. So Holy to stay in goal. Vincent Young at right back, as long as he's come through a couple of 90 minutes okay. He's absolutely one that's nailed on for a starting place next season, you would imagine. I can see Luke Chambers coming back in at central defence. Wolfenden and McGuinness were a bit all over the place in midweek. Wolfenden is certainly one for the future, and he did okay at Charlton, so persist with him. But McGuinness, lone player, had a really difficult night on Tuesday. Get a bit of experience back in with the skipper. Stephen Ward's done okay at left back, so I can see him continuing. Dazelle and Downs will continue in midfield. Cook's been full of praise for Dazelle, actually. Reckons he's had a really good couple of games, Dazelle, so might just be talking him up at the moment to get him ready to go again for next season. Bishop missed out with an illness, a minor illness in midweek, so I imagine he'll come back in that sort of number 10 role. Edwards was one of the few bright spots in midweek, so he will continue on the left. And then I could see Dobra coming in on the right-hand side because Keenan Bennett may have just run out of lives. He's had a little run at it now and hasn't delivered when it's mattered in the final third. And then striker options are really limited at the moment on the assumption that James Norwood still won't be ready after that hamstring injury. And there was no update on that at the press conference this morning. But on the assumption that he is not ready, options are limited, aren't they? Jackson, Sears, Drynan, Ollie Hawkins is probably your next roll of the dice. Chuck the big man on. I think Cook's reluctant to do that because it changes the whole style and way they play. So Jackson, possibly.
Okay, so there's
what goals though, does it?
It certainly doesn't, Stu. There's what Stu thinks is going to happen with the team. Now then, Stu, the big question, of course, every week we talk about predictions. This week, is it finally going to be time for Town to break that 9-hour duck goal-wise? Are we going to see a goal from Ipswich Town, the first goal under the American owners? What do you reckon?
Are we going to see a goal? Yes. Are we going to see a win? No. That's where I'm going with the prediction. 1-1. Wimbledon have been in really good form. We know they put 3 past Ipswich. They'd gone and won 5-1 at Accrington before that game. Since beating Ipswich, they've won another 2 games, beat Swindon 4-1 at home, beat Oxford 2-1 at home. They've got themselves out of the relegation zone. So they're a team in good form. But as much as we're feeling miserable about Ipswich at the moment, their home form's been pretty good, 8 unbeaten at Portman Road. So they've only conceded 3 goals in those 8 games. So those 2 things considered, I think it's going to equal a score draw. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, I'm going to be slightly less optimistic. I agree with you. It's going to be a draw, but I still can't see Town scoring. They have been pretty solid, as you say, bringing Chambers back into defence. We'll see how that works. I'm going to say your favourite result of the season, Stewie, 0-0. Let's hope we're both wrong. Town get a win and we can all enjoy the sun with a Town win in our back pockets. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the game, and we'll speak to you again next time.